Good afternoon, everyone. On this September 23rd of 2021, I'm Mayor Diana Broderson, and welcome to our city. We have Sheriff Quinn Riess with us here today, but I'd like to start us off with just a couple of quick announcements. First of all, on the vaccination front, we have had 604, I guess I should say the pandemic front, not the vaccination front. We've had 6,415 cases so far in Muscatine County that are positive, and 224 of those just last week. I just got this information hot off the press from our public health director here in Muscatine, Christy Roby Williams. She says that we do have 63% of people that are eligible for the vaccine that have been vaccinated in Muscatine County, and so that would be those 12 and up. And it's same number for the state. We did have one new death, so please join me in praying for the family of that person. And then one question that people ask me all the time is, well, of those people that are sick, how many of them have been vaccinated, how many not? And that's a new data point that we're able to get from the state now. So 84% of those people that are in the ICU are unvaccinated people, and 81% of those that are hospitalized are unvaccinated people. On a lighter note, the Almost Friday Fest is tonight. So this is a busy, busy weekend coming up. It's homecoming. Oh my goodness. Tonight's the homecoming parade. Tomorrow night is the game, and Saturday night is the dance. So all the girls are getting beautified right now, even as we speak, getting everything ready, hair done, makeup, shoes, the whole bit. But the Almost Friday Fest tonight, they're going to have the dweebs 5 to 8 on the riverfront. Tomorrow night 5 to 8 is the Tim Stop Band, and then Saturday is the first annual Octo Brew Fest from 1 to 4. All the bands, everything's going to be on the riverfront. The weather looks beautiful. Bring your lawn chairs. I'm going to be giving rides all 3 days back and forth on the golf cart from the parking lot to the event. So I hope to see all of you down there. And lastly, also tomorrow night is the Walk to End Alzheimer's, and that's going to be at the Pearl City Station. There's still time for you to make a team, because you can still collect funds all the way through the end of the year. It starts at 5 at Pearl City Station. They do need help. You know, this is an ongoing issue that impacts almost every family everywhere, knows someone or has had somebody impacted by memory issues. So this is something that's really near and dear to our hearts, and we really hope that more and more progress gets made to some kind of assistance and help with this issue. So welcome and pre-registration is at 4. The opening ceremony is at 5. And if you have any questions or need help with anything with the Alzheimer's Walk, please just get a hold of Megan Francis. She's at Senior Resources. And next, please join me in welcoming our current Muscatine County Sheriff, Quinn Riess. Welcome, Quinn.
Good afternoon.
Hey, you're in your office over there at right by the county courthouse, aren't you?
I am.
Very good. Now, for a while, tell me, Quinn, was the sheriff ever located out at the building out on Park Avenue West?
So the Park Avenue West location is where the Patrol Division and Investigations Division is located.
Okay.
That building came to fruition in 1996. The chief deputy on down through the patrol ranks and also the investigative ranks work out of that facility.
Okay. I remember back going there to get a gun permit one time, and I wonder if that was before the jail was built.
So years ago, the civil division was out there.
Okay, that was it then.
And then they moved downtown here.
Okay.
Once the 96 footprint of the jail was built.
All right. So you're located right there with the jail.
Correct.
Very good. Very good. So you've been our sheriff now 1 year or 2? 1.
9 months.
9 months. Oh
9
my
months.
goodness. But you've been a deputy for a long time.
Yes. I came to the sheriff's office in 1999, January of 99. Worked in the courthouse courthouse security, court bailiff type thing for about 8 months. Transitioned out to patrol after that, and then spent till 2011 doing uniform patrol work on both midnight and afternoon shift. Went into investigations in 2011 and eventually headed up that division, and then made the switch down here in January. So
okay, very good. Well, you can't pass yourself off as being a youngster, you know, when you've been on the force for over 20 years.
When we start telling stories of, hey, you remember back in the day when we used to do it this way, or you remember that guy, remember this, you know, that happening, and when all those stories get to be 15 and 20 years old, you've been around a while.
Oh yeah, I'm in the same boat out here at the Y. And now being mayor 6 years, same thing. I mean, boy, time just flies.
It does. Looking back, because I started in city of Marengo in 1996. Worked there, small town, Willow, West Liberty sized community.
Sure.
Worked there for 3 years before coming down here. But looking back, now we're hiring guys or hiring staff that were born after I started my career.
Oh my gosh, isn't that crazy?
This is scary.
It is. It's terribly scary. Oh my goodness.
So
how many deputies do you have now?
So on the patrol side, on the sworn side, we have 24 officers that patrol the county. Muscatine County is about 450 square miles. We have 24 sworn staff that perform that function. We also have a number of reserve deputies, non-paid reserves. We've got about a dozen, 13, I believe, that come out and help us when we need help with accidents or crime scenes, or they do a lot with the school system. They work the football games, they work the dances. Sure. They do some contract work for us with the Corps of Engineers campgrounds. We've got a number of guys and gals that work out of that office on Park Avenue West. We also have a majority of our manpower is located down here at the jail with our correctional staff. We've got about 40 correctional officers. We have a number of staff that work in the kitchen. We have a number of staff that work in our nurse's office. All told, we're right around 100 staff members with the sheriff's office. So,
you know, I think that's something that people tend to forget. Even I do. You're a 24/7 organization there, with having to have, you know, the medical team there, having to have, you know, food and laundry and all of these things that you wouldn't normally think of for law enforcement.
Yep. So all of our meals are prepared in-house with our kitchen staff. We do have a number of inmate workers that assist with that. We try to attend to most of our medical needs with our in-house nursing staff. Just try to control costs that way.
Sure.
We have a number of our inmate workers that help with doing laundry, again, working in the kitchen, helping clean the facility. It's a big operation. It's a 24-hour operation. Yeah, we're not closed on holidays. We're not closed on nights and weekends. It's all the time.
Sure.
So,
you know, also I was thinking, as far as the facility itself, you must have to have like regular ongoing maintenance going on too, even with the jail. So you have all of the maintenance staff too.
So the maintenance staff are county maintenance staff.
Okay, so that helps.
Yeah. So here within the last 2 years, I believe, the county put up the general services building at the corner of 5th and Walnut. So the search and rescue is housed in that facility. Also, the general services or the maintenance staff is housed out of that structure. They're over here regularly. Typically, we have one on site 7-8 hours a day. There's always something over here. Like I said, this is a unique facility that doesn't close. It's not like a courthouse or an admin building where if something needed fixed after hours, we could wait till the building shut down.
That's what I was thinking with the maintenance. They've got to do it while you have inmates.
Yep. And we have a number of contractors that are in and out for the sprinkler systems, the HVAC systems, phone systems. We have a number of contractors that come in and out on a daily basis that we have to escort around the facility. If somebody that's not employed by the county comes in, they have an officer assigned to them, and they follow them everywhere they go. Tools get checked in, tools get checked out. So it's a running operation that never shuts down.
Sure. How many inmates do you typically have? What's your average?
So today's population, we're about 230, 231.
That's a lot of people.
So capacity of this facility is 255.
Okay.
We house a number of out-of-county inmates.
And federal too, don't you?
Yes. We house a number of federal inmates that are either awaiting trial, awaiting hearings, awaiting sentencing, things like that. So anywhere from 130 to 160 at any given time. We also house for Scott County. We have about a dozen, give or take, from Scott County, and then the rest of our population is made up of local and state, either those awaiting trial or sentenced to a county time, non-prison county time.
I remember when they were building the jail, that part of the reason of building it so large was so that we could take those out of towners, because they pay us for that, and then that's going to help us with our overhead. Is that working?
It works really well.
Good.
During COVID, during the height of COVID, I should say, we had a number of protocols in place that really limited access of inmates coming into the facility. Our local numbers were down considerable, and the court system was shut down as well.
Sure.
So there wasn't new, awaiting trial or awaiting sentencing, or had been sentenced inmates coming in. We bumped our federal numbers up. We received a grant last year that allowed us to put in virtual courtrooms within the facility. So those people that are entering the federal court system come to our facility. They have their initial appearances virtually. So that allowed our numbers to stay up pretty good.
Sure.
Since the things have opened back up, we've loosened those restrictions or those protocols that we had in place. Our local numbers have leveled off, came back up and leveled off. Our Fed numbers are pretty steady. We've brought in some Scott County inmates to add to that revenue base. So we're sitting comfortable. We don't like running at population. It makes it very stressful on staff, especially when you have to move. If there's inmates that don't get along with other inmates or special housing requirements, it makes it difficult to make those moves when you're at capacity. So being just under gives us a little breathing room.
Sure.
And move people accordingly.
So you have women and men. I imagine, is it like 75% men, 25% women?
It's typically yes. I mean, it's a fluid number.
Okay. Yeah.
It ebbs and flows,
Sure.
just like anything. We do have we house juveniles as well. We're housing some for Scott County. There are some rules in place at the state level to kind of dictates where they're housed, how often they have to be checked on, things like there's certain things that we have to adhere to that we have the ability to do. And if we can help out a bordering county, then we're on board with it. So
sure. Has the staff crisis, people having a hard time finding workers, has that impacted you at all?
I am proud to say that we are fully staffed.
Oh, that's great.
First time in many, many years that we've been able to be fully staffed. We do have a couple spots that are going to be opening up in our jail diversion program. Several years ago, Sheriff White worked out a program with the court to, rather than sentencing to jail time, it allowed 9 nonviolent offenders to do jail diversion, work diversion. People have probably seen the van out parked on the bypass with picking up garbage and trash and litter and whatnot. That program
I don't know what happened there. You're on mute, Quinn.
I didn't touch anything.
I didn't either.
It wasn't me this time.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, not it.
Are we still on, Chad? Okay, Quinn, you were talking about the diversion program.
Going back to the diversion program, I don't know where I cut off there, but that was a program that Sheriff Dave White started many years ago. People have seen him out picking up garbage and whatnot. They also take care of a lot of the grounds maintenance at the county facilities. So they mow the grass at the jail, they mow the grass at the courthouse, they mow the grass at the county buildings, the maintainer sheds that are scattered around the county. And a majority of that work is done by those that have entered into that jail diversion program rather than coming in, sitting in jail, doing their time. It's allowed them to go out and be productive. So
benefits the county and benefits them. I'm sure they'd rather do that than be sitting inside.
I know I would.
I would too. I would too. So CJ Ryan, when he was sheriff, he had Ardith Slight as his right arm. Who's your right arm?
Jeff Mullen.
Okay.
So Jeff has been with the sheriff's office since the mid 90s. He started working at the jail when it was the old jail across the street. Transitioned to patrol, worked his way up. He was the patrol captain, second deputy for the last several years. He is now the chief deputy, so he handles a lot of the day-to-day patrol division operations. Mike Schmidt was an afternoon shift sergeant. He was moved up to lieutenant, and he runs, he's the patrol lieutenant, so he handles a lot of the scheduling, paperwork, all that, those issues and whatnot. So they, between Jeff Mullen, Mike Schmidt, the rest of the staff out at that facility, Matt McCleary was the jail administrator here at the jail, Lieutenant Nick Doy, all the other supervisors, the correctional officers down here, they take a substantial load of the day-to-day operational tasks that I would be absolutely lost without those guys.
Oh, sure. They're critical. The frontline workers that deal with stuff like that for the whole organization, often sight unseen and get very little recognition, but they're so valuable.
Being able to shoot them a text, a call, an email, something like this. There's, I need this taken care of by the end of the day, or
Sure.
hey, can you look into this for me?
Mhm.
More often than not, those things are taken care of by the end of business that day, and keep on moving down the line. So having those people in those positions, and not just those, the staff as a whole, having that type of staff that you can count on, you can rely on, to pick up those things and run with them, has been a godsend.
Yeah, it's a team effort because one person just can't do it all. There's no way.
And I tried, I'm been here for 9 months. Back in February, March, I'd been sitting here for 3 months, and to think that you'll have the time and the ability to have a hand on everything that goes on is ludicrous.
It is.
Having those caliber, or that caliber of staff, that you can count on, though, is it makes the day go very, very easy.
Yeah, they're invaluable. I think, well, I have a team that goes into the jails periodically and does the dad's program to help guys, when they come out, to learn better skills as being a parent. And I think we've networked with Matt McCleary.
Yep. And we're looking at adding other programs. I've been in contact with Naomi out of MCC about possibly putting together a GED program, doing AA, NA programs, the 24/7 dads program. So we're looking towards the future as far as expanding on the programs that we offer, to try to give the inmate population something, some sort of a base, something to start from, where it's not a constant, I'm getting out, I'm going back to the same environment, and they're back again in a month.
Yep.
So if there's something. So we've worked with Felicia Topper over at Community Services recently. We're working on doing some mental health training for all of our staff. We've been in contact with Mary Peterson up at Robert Young.
Yes.
To do some other mental health type things in the facility, just to quicken the response to mental health issues that the inmate population have.
Sure.
So it's a work in progress. We've got meetings scheduled out as far as I can see, to try to get these things going. But again, if I hand off one of those things to Nick or Matt or Lieutenant Bars or Lieutenant Dreyer or really anybody, give it to them. That way it gives them some ownership over that project.
Yep.
And I think that garners a lot more buy-in from supervisors and staff alike, when it's something that they've worked on and something that they put their heart into.
And they can give it the time that it really needs. You certainly wouldn't have it.
And
not that they don't have busy schedules too, I'm sure.
Right. But if we work collectively, if I have an idea or they have an idea, and you present that to the group, and what started as an anthill is now a mountain of an idea, because everybody's offered their 2 cents into it, and it typically works out great. So.
And I really commend you for being so forward thinking about us not just doing the same thing over and over. That's where our 24/7 dads program comes in also. These guys that have been back as inmates more than once, especially, or even those for the first time, if we can help them have some kind of a bench to start from, so that they can get off on a better path rather than just repeating that same cycle. And we all know that there's a great deal of people incarcerated because of mental health issues, not as much criminal activity. And so reaching out to the community and partnering, I think that's one of the best things that Muscatine does is we work together and realize we can't all do it all.
And I go back typically twice a day. I go back and make a lap on the secure side in the morning. I go back in the afternoon again before I go home. And more often than not, stop and talk to some of the inmates that are moving around. Mm-hmm. And some of the ideas that we've started working on haven't been staff ideas. They've been inmate ideas.
Sure.
Some of like the GED class, for instance, that got brought up during one of those conversations with the inmates. Yeah. And like, yeah, let me check on it. I'll get a hold of Naomi and we'll, see what we can do to run with that. So it's not just getting spitballing ideas, amongst coworkers. It's some of them have come from the population as well.
Oh, sure.
And they're willing to work with us to a degree. We have 3 different TV channels. We flip between them during different hours of the day. We're coming into football season. They know it. They want to watch football, so we barter back and forth a little bit. So, if you can keep a spit polished cell block, then okay, we'll do it. So there's a little bit of give and take. Again, some of the ideas that we're looking at, some of the programs that we're looking at bringing in have been brought up by the population. Mm-hmm. The population we have has been at other facilities. We might be the second, third, fourth facility that they've been in. And, some of are we doing things the 100% right way? No. To think that is a pipe dream to speak. But if we can take ideas from them, take ideas from other facilities to maybe make their day a little bit brighter. On the flip side of that, it also makes it a lot easier on the staff, less stressful for the staff, which is, second to security. That stress load that they carry on a daily basis, it ranks right up there near the top. So,
because even though they're inmates and they're there because they did something wrong, made a mistake, broke the law of some type, it doesn't mean that they have to be your enemies. It just means that they're incarcerated.
Right. Some of the guys that I talked to, there was a handful that I put in here back in the day. Uh-huh. But to sit and actually talk to them and have a non-confrontational conversation with them.
Sure.
They're here. They know they're here. Are they decent people? Yeah, a lot of times, yeah. So to go back and talk to them, get their ideas. There's a lot of things that I learn about as an administration from the inmate population. So it's a very interesting dynamic.
Oh, I bet. And I love the thought of getting ideas from them. We're working on the Grandview area, and the revitalization, and we got adopted a program called Heart and Soul, because as we have a team that we're working on the Grandview project, but we don't want it to just be, this is what we think you want and this is what we think you need. We want it, you tell us, right. And that's what this Heart and Soul is about. They live there and work there, and they know more what they want or need than we do. And with the same measure, your guys that are in there, and female too, I don't mean to stereotype that, but they know what might help them when they get on the outside. So bringing those ideas forward.
Right. And like I said, if we can give them maybe more of a base to work from than what they have. I think that's perfectly within our ability to do so. So we'll see how it works out. Like I said, Naomi is working some things through the community college. Scott County does something very similar through Scott Community College. So we're going to try to basically copycat.
Why not?
There a lot of this stuff. There's really no need to reinvent the wheel.
Nope.
There has to be that measure between how much stuff we do and still be able to get done what we need to get done.
Well, sure.
So between med pass, meal pass, lockdown times, so on and so forth, we do have to work around certain time restrictions, parameters. But I think we still have the ability and maybe even the obligation to do those types of things.
Sure. Sure. Absolutely. I just love that you're thinking outside the box like that. It's a win for everybody. It's a win for the community.
Right. If an inmate can come out and have a solid base to start from, get entered back into the workforce, don't fall back into that environment to which they came. I've had that conversation with a number of them that I tell you what, I've seen it hundreds of times where you get out, you go back to that same environment. I'll see you again.
And then the outcome is going to be the same.
Yep. So it's a vicious cycle. So if you can have the ability or have access to something that you can get yourself in a little bit better position upon exit. So like I said, it's a win-win, not only for us here at the jail, but the community as a whole. So
sure. And we're very fortunate to have Naomi there, Dr. DeWinter. She is very good at thinking and creative, and everything just doesn't have to happen in her four walls either. She's very good at that. So
I've
very lucky to have her. Yes.
I've emailed her a handful of times, and typically before the close of business, I get a response.
Absolutely.
And it goes from there. So
yeah. So it sounds like your plans ahead are to continue working on the GED, things are opening back up. Are you back to full force or do you still have safety measures in place because of the pandemic?
So we are back to pre-COVID rules and regulations.
Okay.
So we are open for business. We never closed for business. I should say that. Sure. I'll throw out that caveat. But we are back to a pre-COVID stance. We do have some measures still in place as far as when somebody's brought into the facility by a law enforcement agency. So there's some checks that happen prior to acceptance and admission into the jail to make sure that those persons are fit for confinement. So if there's any existing illness, existing or pre-existing injuries, things of that nature, those are checked on prior to us accepting. If there's something along those lines in play, we'll require those agencies to have that person medically cleared. So they'll take a trip out to Trinity, get the thumbs up or the thumbs down. Once they're medically cleared, we accept them in. Typically, those we'll call them overnight inmates that are brought in by a law enforcement agency that would normally see a judge the following morning. Depending on what happens at that hearing, they're held typically in a temporary holding area where they don't get into general population.
Okay.
The addition that's going on the south side of the facility now is going to expand not only the booking, but that temporary holding area where it'll be, those overnighties very rarely are going to see general pop.
Because the last thing you want to do is put someone in there that's ill.
Right. We were very, very lucky with the protocols that we had in place. We had very limited COVID exposure to the inmate population.
Oh, that's good.
We had more exposure to the staff. So we had to deal with some staff issues during the height of, but the inmate population was impacted very, very low.
What did you have to stop visitation?
So we haven't had in-person visitation for quite a long time. The way visitation is handled, we've actually started a new program. We're still working the bugs out of it. Typically, family members and loved ones would come in. There's a visitation room in the front of the facility that's got just computer kiosks, and they sit in front of the camera and the screen. Their family member or loved one is sitting in front of a camera and a screen somewhere in the facility, and that's the way those visitations are handled. We've started a newer program. Again, we're still working the bugs out of it, where people can call in on mobile devices and basically FaceTime. They don't have to come into the facility anymore. They can do it from home. So we started that a couple months ago, and it seems to be working fairly well. We do have an amount of foot traffic that comes in. Those are typically local inmates. We took that step because with the size of the Fed population that we have, there's very, very few of those that are local. Those are from across the state, across the region. So we were having people drive from, Des Moines area, Quad City area, to come down and have those 20-minute visits, where it's something that we can do. It doesn't cost us anything. It's really easier on staff to not have to deal with that load coming into the lobby. So they can dial in from their couch, do their visit, and it makes it substantially easier.
Oh, I'm sure.
So,
and that's kind of the way of the world anymore.
It is. We were one of the last ones. We were one of the last holdouts to go to that program.
Sure.
I talked with several other sheriffs that I know who've been doing that for quite a while. So it's worked out well. Like I said, it's limited the foot traffic that we have on Saturdays. When I first came down here in January, I tried to be down here at least one day on the weekend. So I try to be in the office Saturday or Sunday.
Sure.
And I would go out and kind of talk to the family members to see how that visitation program was working. We were having computer issue after computer issue. I was probably as, if not more frustrated than they were, because we have this system. It doesn't work. I don't like that. So we've been able to, over the last few months, get things working properly. And then the addition of the at-home or the off-site visit has taken a lot of stress off the staff on those visitation days.
Very good. Well, I, for one, am so glad that you're here, that you're in your seat and looking over us right down there. Right, you're kind of like right in the heart of the city, it seems to me.
Almost dead center.
Yes.
Like I said, I've got my own little city within the city. Like I said, I've got my own kitchen. I've got my own nurse's office. It's like a little town. It's about the size of Adolescent.
Yeah, there you go. And I know you collaborate and work well with the fire department and the city Muscatine police and Wilton and all of them. So you got a big job.
Yeah, we try to coordinate a lot of things with other departments. We try to pool resources. We try not to duplicate services. Doing projects with not only Muscatine Police Department, but Wilton and West Liberty as well. Our patrol guys are out and about 24/7, so they work pretty close with those smaller towns. We try to work with the fire department when they're awake. I had to get that jab.
I know, I got it. Give that to Jerry.
If any firemen are watching, I apologize.
Exactly.
So I had to get that jab in there.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Well, and I know you guys are set this year again. I'm on the Salvation Army board to be our campaign chairs for the Salvation Army Red Kettle campaign again. You as well as Chief Talkington and Chief Evers, and we'll see who ends up winning every time. You guys, right? That's what I thought.
Hold on a second. Hold on.
All right. Rub it in. Oh, there you go.
We got it.
You got it.
Last year it was looking like the police department was going to get close to pulling it off. Which I told them, they're more than welcome to come and get the trophy. It's going to be in one of the housing units, and they're going to have to come in and get it.
Come in and find it.
Yep. So yeah, we've got that going. The Toys for Kids program is set to kick off here next weekend. There'll be a chili cook-off down at the Legion. There'll be another one at Jody's, I believe on the 30th of the month. So yeah, we're getting into that program. The Alzheimer's Walk is tomorrow.
Yes.
Yes. So we'll have people down there for that. Yeah, we've got a Rebuilding Together project next Saturday with Rebuilding Together.
What a great organization that is with Frank. Frank Iliff is amazing, and he brings everybody together to work on these projects. It's amazing the work that he does with his volunteers like yours.
And about 2 or 3 days a month, he'll bring donuts down here.
Yeah.
And drop off, which I greatly appreciate. He brings the blueberry donuts from Ivy, which are phenomenal. So I try not to eat them. It doesn't work out well, but I do my best. So
great guy. And that's wonderful of you guys to volunteer. And I know your team does so much to help out with all these projects in our community. And that's why Muscatine, I think, is just, so out in front from other communities, because we have that where we all work together for the good of everybody. And it's amazing.
I love doing it. The staff likes doing it. It's a switch from the day-to-day issues that we have, that everybody has. So yeah, to be able to go out and, paint a house, do some lawn care, gardening, landscaping, whatever. It's a fun project. We did a ramp project with Frank's crew last fall, I believe it was, where we had a blast. It was a 4 or 5 hour project. But it seemed like it lasted about 15 minutes. Everybody kind of had their own niche, and everybody moved and worked together great. I think we're going to be doing the same thing next weekend. I think we've got another ramp install to do. So yeah, between that stuff, the day of caring, we try to be involved as much as we can with community, not only community, but county functions. We are a county organization. So we try to be involved as much as we can. So yeah, it is a nice outlet for the staff to get involved in. They have a blast doing it. Yeah, it's fun to watch them do it. Of course, then everybody starts poking fun at each other, and
of course,
it's a good time.
Yeah. Well, we are glad that you're at the helm, and your team does an amazing job.
Thank you.
And we're fortunate to have all of you guys.
Thank you.
And I know you thank your team. You've said it several times, and their involvement both in-house and outside of your facility there is top notch.
Thank you.
All right.
Wouldn't be possible without them. So
absolutely. Well, thank you.
Yep. Thank you. Have a good day.
Yes, you too. And thanks to all of you for joining us today and helping us listen to Sheriff Quinn Riess and all the wonderful things he does right here in our community. Reminder, we don't have a city council meeting tonight. You can head on down to the Almost Friday Fest very soon, actually. I've got almost 3 o'clock, so it'll be here before we know it. Next week is our last show of the month, and so we're going to have the Grandview Revitalization Project update with Councilwomen Nadine Brockert and Peggy Gordon. They'll be here to share. Big thanks again to Sheriff Riess, and we hope to see all of you here next week on Our City.